Yeah, there you go. That's better. Yeah, that's good right there.
Welcome to Roll Call, the #1 Birmingham Roller podcast, bringing together Birmingham Roller fans from all over the world. Hey,
You're doing the intro.
What's up?
that's all right.
That's it, right?
Oh yeah, I did.
Aaron, what's up? What's up, guys?
I'm on the intro right now, right?
Oh, okay.
All right, we're live. See, make sure everything's so good. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We're live. We're live streaming on another episode of the Roll Call. I want to thank everybody who's joining us, and we have here Ray for Lewis. Ray, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? What's up?
Today's guest is Ronnie Ross. What's going on, Ron?
What's going on, man? What y'all doing out there, man, in Pigeon Land?
Everything's good, man.
What's going on with you, Ray?
Nothing, Ronnie. Been a
Yeah. I
Been a
heard your
little bit.
father. How's your father doing, man? I hope everything is okay with him, man. He's all right?
yeah. It'll be okay.
Okay, well, that's good to hear.
Another episode, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, everybody, this is Ronnie Ross. Ronnie's from California. Ronnie, so why don't you introduce yourself and give us a little bit of your history with the Birmingham Rollers?
Well, yeah, you done already introduced me, so I don't think I need to do too much of that. You know what I mean? My name is Ronnie Ross from Pittsburgh, California. I've been in the birds pretty much all my life, since about 68. Since I was 8 years old, I've been flying rollers. Really just kind of started flying competition over the last few years. I've been, participating, but not been competing, because I didn't have the location to fly in. So over these last couple of years, I've been able to actually start flying birds and start seeing the potential of the family of birds that I have. I've been running AARC club for 30 plus years now, and that's been an experience. Trust me, that's been a task in itself. But it's been an experience that I wouldn't give up for the world, man. This club and the guys in the club, it's a lot of fun. They keep it, really basic. And that's what it's all about to me. It's just having fun with the birds, man. That's it. You know what I mean? I don't try to do no more than that. Just fly my birds for myself.
Right on. And
So,
go ahead, Ray.
has it been that long, Ronnie? 30 years?
Man, it's been over 30 years, bro.
Wow. So, Jerry,
Yeah.
I've been knowing Ronnie. I think Ronnie and I were probably youngsters.
Yeah, we were definitely youngsters, man. When we met, man. It's been a long time, bro. Long time.
I met Ronnie, Mike Walden, probably in the early 90s.
Yes, absolutely.
Early 90s.
Early 90s.
Probably in the early 90s, man. And
Yeah.
him, JJ, I
Yeah.
mean, I've been knowing those guys a long time. And And it's always good to see them because, every year I try to, as the weather get drastic here, I try to make that trip down to California to try to get a little bit of sun. And I always head out their way, So it's always good to see you, man.
Man, you know what? The support that this hobby has been giving us over the last few years has been amazing. And to keep these friendships like me and you have for, like you say, 30 years, man. It's been a long time, right? You know what I mean? And we've always flown birds. When we see each other, it's just like seeing family, constantly seeing family, year in and year out. And I think that's what the hobby is about to me. It's, I done met so many good people in this hobby, you know what I mean? And flying birds and having laughs and that's what it's about, man. I don't think it's, to me, about anything else. I mean, the competition is great. Don't get me wrong. I like to compete and I would love to win like everybody else. I mean, I'm not flying birds to lose. Let's just get that understanding. Let's get that understanding. But, when you got these guys out here who's participating in this hobby and they in their backyard working hours trying to get these birds up, man, it's hard flying rollers, man. It's not an easy task, man. These guys are spending, work days in their backyard trying to fly these damn birds, to put up for these guys to see, man. It's incredible once you go and see somebody fly these great kits that they've been working so hard to put in the air for everybody,
Are you retired now?
Man, I'm working every day. I'm working right now.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just saying, because you just mentioned, you got guys putting in time and you say you've been in the hobby 30 plus years. What do you see, man, now? I from a time where you had to work and get up and go do the birds, come home, do the birds, to now that you got more time on your hands with the birds, man, is that's something that it's worth for all of us to look up to, man?
Well, what I see now from the past, from me being in the hobby so long, is the involvement of the Birmingham Roller. Back in the day, we had birds that was fast, that was deep. They wasn't as frequent as what we see now. Now the bird turned into a working pigeon. You know what I mean? When I was coming up in the 60s, we was flying birds. They were fast, they were deep, but they wasn't as frequent as what we see now. You know what I mean? These guys have really cultivated the bird into a performance pigeon. You know what I mean? I never could imagine birds rolling 3 times a minute because that's what I was accustomed to seeing. You know what I mean? A bird going 60, 70 feet, but he was only doing it, you could be flying birds an hour and you might not see him do it but 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean? So the birds have definitely evolved over the last, 30 plus years I've been in the game. You know what I mean? More than that, actually, you're looking at over 40 years of watching pigeons. You know what I mean? And then, seeing the correct role in a pigeon. We used to didn't care if a bird just come out the air. We thought it was doing something. You know what I mean? It's falling out the air and hitting the ground. Back in the day, when I was a kid, you couldn't give me a 10-foot pigeon. You know what I mean? If it didn't hit the ground, I didn't want it. That kind of stuff. But now, we done all grew up with the Birmingham Roller. So what we're looking for now is a quality performance rolling pigeon. That's what everybody is out there looking for. I like to see these birds being active, but me personally, I just cannot compromise the quality that I'm looking for in a pigeon. You know what I mean? I love a fast, clean, straight pigeon. That's just me. I may never win a competition because I'm kind of anal about that. You know what I mean? But I'm not into all of the activity as much. I would like, if I can get my birds going once a minute, twice a minute, I think I'm doing pretty good with it. You know what I mean? Because the main thing about the birds to me personally is if you flying in competition, you need big explosions. Quarter turns is not going to make it in this game anymore. You know what I mean? If they're not doing halves or 3/4, you're not going to go anywhere in this hobby anymore. Especially if you're flying in competition, it's really difficult to win a competition if your birds are not breaking big. You know.
Yeah. What's your like we're talking about right now that nowadays you got more frequency within the birds and bigger breaks that everybody's after. How do you see a proper roller for you as far as on depth? You say you like it once a minute. What's proper for you competitive?
Me personally, 10-foot a 10-foot pigeon to me is a blink of the eye.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to see a bird that is going 10 feet and you giving it these modifiers, these qualifying points. To me, you got to see the bird roll. That's what we breed them for. We breed them to see them roll. So if they're going 10 feet and we're really not seeing them, what are we breeding? Me personally, I like my birds going 25, 30 feet so you can actually see this bird performing. If it's not performing, then how a judge is going to come by and look at your bird and it's just, you don't know if it's fluttering or what, because 10 feet is nothing in the air. It's absolutely nothing for a bird to do 10 feet. So me personally, I would love to see it go up to 15, 20 feet in competition, so you at least see the bird roll so a judge can actually say, okay, this bird really, lit it up. 10 feet, I fly 10-foot birds all year long. And I don't care if the hawk get him or not because it doesn't impress me none.
Yeah, well,
You know what I mean?
the thing is that a lot of guys will see 10 feet different than others. You know what I'm saying? I see 10 feet every single day at work. You know what I mean? The sheets of material come in 10 feet, so I got
Exactly.
I got it recorded in my mind.
Exactly.
So I could say
that's what I'm talking about.
I could say that bird is barely making 10 feet, and somebody else will say it's 20, 25 feet.
Exactly.
I have that recorded in my mind. I know that material comes in 10 feet, 20 feet, 40 feet, even 60 feet.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So one that doesn't never see that would get themselves thinking that a bird that it's 10, 15 feet is deeper,
Well, I always go by a piece of plyboard. Yeah. Plyboard is 4 by 8 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 by 8 feet. You put another 2 feet on the plyboard and make it 10 by 4. It's nothing to a bird rolling.
Yeah.
That's most the size of the people's lofts that they walk into. You know what I mean? So if a bird jump off a perch and he rolls and hits the ground or hits the floor, he's already done rolled 8 feet or 7 feet. You know what I mean? That's nothing.
Yeah.
So me personally, man, when the guys come see my birds, I want to make sure they seeing rollers. That's just the way I feel about it. And me, when I go in the backyard, I want to enjoy rollers. Because at the end of the day, I love competition. I love the fellowshipping of it. I love the competition. I love getting out, going to see other birds besides myself, because it gives me a wider perspective of what I need to do in my own backyard. But at the end of the day, even if I won a major competition, I'm not going to get no endorsements. I'm not going to get no Wendy commercials. I'm not going to get a tennis shoe. I'm not going to get a tennis shoe deal. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen, man. It's just, it's just a personal thing to yourself to see if you can accomplish this. You know what I mean? So my thing is keep it fun, man. Keep it real. We always bicker. I mean, ever since I was a kid, we get in the street and play football and somebody say they better than you are. Man, shut up and let's play.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to hear all this yappity yap. Either you're going to play or you're not going to play. That's the way I see it, man. I've met so many guys like Ray. I've met you, like you say, 30 years ago, man. It's been that long, man. My kids were babies when,
Yeah.
My oldest son is 40 years old now. You know what I mean? So tomorrow he'll be 40 years old. So we're looking at how long we've been in the game. You know what I mean? And And I haven't won nothing major. I'm not a master flyer. I just enjoy the birds.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Because I got them for me. I got the birds for me personally. And I pose this question to a lot of people. If it wasn't no competition, would you still have rollers?
Yeah. And that's an important question, to be honest. But like you said, none of us have them. We all want to win.
Right, no exactly. Ain't no doubt about that, Ray. We all want to win now.
We all want to win. But I think my favorite saying is, if it's not fun, when it stops being fun, because I'm always going to have pigeons,
right.
No matter what.
Exactly.
I'm always going to have rollers. When it stops being fun, then I just do it by myself in my backyard, man. That's how it is most of the time, anyway, right?
It is. That's how it is all the time, man. Saying is, I love what I do, so I do what I love. You know what I mean? I love going out flying birds. This is what I do, year in and year out. I hear people complaining about the hawk problem. Oh man, the hawk is killing my birds. And this, that. Dude, how are you going to complain about raising prey and then complain about the predator that's eating it? It makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes no sense. My thing is breed up enough pigeons and pay your sky taxes because he's going to feed. He's coming to eat.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about that. You know what I mean?
And we're gonna get into that subject right there because I see you online all the time and to you is like nothing. Oh, he took another one and you keep on going. And I mean, how do you like explain to yourself? I mean, I'm pretty sure at a certain time you're like frustrated. You probably even stressed out about it. Now you seem like you're cool about it and you just keep on going, man. How do you put up with that, man?
What happened is like I say, everything evolves, man. We all evolve. Everything evolves. So you're looking at, over, like you say, 40 years of pigeons. I was frustrated when I couldn't fly birds. I remember when Donald led and Ramsey Angeloni and all these guys down here was flying birds and and stuff like that. Man, I never had a 20 bird kit to compete with. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
I just only had the minimum 15 birds just to participate. Knowing I had no chance of winning, but I just wanted to be part of it, to keep the region alive, to keep us flying birds. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about. You know what I mean? If you don't have a pigeon community to fly these pigeons, there will be no master flyers. There will be no World Cup champions. There will be no national champions. We got to just keep the bird flying. And what people don't understand, we're dinosaurs, man. These young kids ain't getting into what we're into right now. Yeah. We just got to keep the community going, man, and flying birds and supporting what we're doing here. You know what I mean? I see all these online auctions, man. We support everybody just to keep it going. And that's what we have to do, just like you're doing with this broadcast right now. Keeping communication open, and stuff like that. At the end of the day, when it comes to the bird of prey taking my pigeons, why should I stress over that? I can't go catch him. I can't go get the bird back. You know what I mean? Why should I be losing any sleep over that? You know what I mean?
Right.
My old saying is this: if it's a bird that you want, don't fly it.
Yeah.
How many breeders do you have to work with, and how many offsprings do you got to breed a year to keep up with your?
You know what? To tell you the truth, I breed all year round because I fly all year round. You know what I mean? So I might breed 150 birds. You know what I mean? And right now, to tell anybody who knows me right now, this is the most pigeons I've ever had in my life. I'm up here, I'm flying 5 kits of birds. It's over 20 kits in each kit. It's spin in every kit. You know what I mean? So I'm having a ball, man. I'm having a blast just being able to fly pigeons and watch them roll. You know, the competition is secondary to me. It's not my first priority. It's enjoying the bird. It's always have been.
Well, Ronnie, like you said earlier,
The white cage. You see them trying to go into the white cage right there. Just open the door, he'll go in.
like you said earlier, Ronnie, you know, I mean, you evolve through situations, you know, and with the birds too, you know, with the birds of prey. For the longest time, I was thinking I was going to move on the east side of the mountains.
Exactly.
And then it finally clicked in. It don't matter where you live anymore.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
The hawk's going to get their share.
They're going to look. They're here to control the balance.
Yeah,
that's what they're here for. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. When it comes, if I'm in a competition and my bird is doing well, and he comes through and mess it up, hell yeah, I'm upset because I'm trying to win the competition. You know what I'm saying? It frustrates you. But if it ain't no competition, that don't bother me because everybody want to put their best foot forward when they competing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody does. I'm looking at everybody now moving to new families of pigeons, and but the problem of that is you're expecting some new results, and you're in the same situation.
Yeah.
If you haven't moved, the bird of prey is not going in. He don't care what family of pigeons he eat.
No, he don't, does he?
He don't care what color they are. He don't care nothing about that stuff, man. He'll come down and get whatever he wants whenever he's hungry enough to come and get it. You know what I mean? So I don't worry about the bird of prey. I just fly my birds, and hopefully I'll have enough when you come down. If you want to come down and visit, I'll have something to entertain you. You know what I mean? I can kick some birds up, and you're like, hey, man, I had a good time. And a lot of times, it's just seeing you, Ray. Just when you come down to the show, it's just, seeing you and having a good time and having some laughs and talk. I mean, the pigeon community is a big deal, bro.
Yeah.
To me, it's a big deal. I'd have met some of the great pigeons, Greg Truesdale, Charlie Stack, Mac Williams, the founder of this club. I mean, he founded this club in 75.
I was born, man.
He's 75. There's the disco back then.
I was 15. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you're in a backyard with bell bottoms,
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? So that years and years and years of enjoying these pigeons, man, and growing with these pigeons and watching the development of these pigeons, and then appreciating the craft that these guys are doing with their birds and how they're training their birds and how they're getting them prepared for competition. And, back in the day, we didn't know anything about no damn food diet. You know what I mean? You give your birds some popcorn, some Jiffy Pop, just make them get through the day. Now it's a serious diet that these birds have to be on to perform at the level that we're looking for.
Yeah. Well, Ronnie, you mentioned something earlier about you said you're breeding out of more birds and breeding more birds than you've ever done before. So what do you tell us what you're doing different now? Well,
actually what I'm doing now, Ray, that I'm not breeding off of that many pairs. I'm breeding off about 14 pairs. Okay. But where I'm living now I've been able to fly pigeons, so I'm not losing as many pigeons. So I don't have to breed as many pigeons. But I do that because, sometimes my club members may need birds or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Here, they losing birds, and everybody need pigeons, man. Sometimes, I breed birds. If somebody need donations, I got to have something to donate. You know what I mean? All these things is a factor in helping the community stay as a pigeon community. You know what I mean? I hear guys, well, man, I only breed 40 birds a year. Where do you live?
Yeah.
To breed 40 birds a year, you know what I mean?
That's
If I had 20 birds a year, I wouldn't have any pigeons.
Yeah.
You know, so you're looking at somebody like Brian McCormick. He just got out here and he's done well, but he's in a location now. I remember Brian when he lived in LA.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he didn't accomplish. He didn't accomplish way more here than he did in LA.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you're in locations where you're able to fly pigeons. You don't have to breed as many. You don't have to work with as many. You can lock away your top pigeons now and save them for the following year. You know, things like that. I couldn't do that before.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at. I know people breed 300 pigeons a year, and they lose most of them. And and when I say lose to the hawk, he's not eating them; he's running them off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you don't breed up enough pigeons, is what I say all the time, and I know this. A lot of people might not like this phrase, but if you don't have enough bullets in the gun, you know what I mean, you're not going to be able to shoot.
Yeah, that's right.
That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? So, when I talk to people, I say, man, breed up enough to feed him, and have him go sit down somewhere so you can fly your birds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I see you right now. You got the HRs. I done seen Chacon. He's got a new family of pigeons that he's working with. You know, and because people want to win.
Yeah.
People are tired of coming losing and not even being close to winning. You know what I mean? And I don't want to lose the region because they don't think they can win a competition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got to keep it fun, man. If it ain't fun, it ain't worth doing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you lose your regional flyers, you turns into a backyard flyer.
Well, Ronnie, you guys have club competitions, right?
Yep. Actually, I just whooped some butt this past weekend. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Man, I won't tell you about that, man. I'll tell you. Look, we keep it fun, man, and we have a lot of laughs. And what we do in our club flies is we have 6 flies a year. And what it is first place get 100 points, second place get 50 points, third place get 25 points. So it doesn't matter how much your kit scores, you're only going to get 100 points for that win. So that keeps it kind of even throughout the year. So it makes it really close for the guys who compete.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So right now, I think I got the most points in the club right now. And I think with 2 flies left, I don't think they're going to be able to catch me. So I should be okay. You know what I mean? With winning this year's fly. But I don't know about the championship. I got to go up against TBR in the championship, and he's flying some awesome pigeons up there in Gerber County.
I've been seeing him online, and he got some good birds, man. Let me tell you.
He got some birds up there, man. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
let's be clear. He's got a lot of pigeons too.
Yes, man. And you know what, Ray? That's the thing, man. I have to put this out here from Donald Led and Ramses Agiloni, and dude, you gotta breed the numbers up, and set these good birds down, and hopefully next year you can get these mature kits of birds out to compete with.
Yeah.
That and I learned that from them guys. You know what I mean? I used to go down there and watch Donald let fly his birds, and I'm like, why in the hell they got spinners all the damn time? You know what I mean? Every time I come down there, they flying these damn spinners, and I got 16 damn birds. You know what I mean? So after talking to them, they were like, man, I put my birds away. After the season is over, I don't fly these birds anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm learning. I learned from Kevin Monroe, talked to John Van Hook, chop it up with these guys about their birds, and Brian McCormick give me a little bit of information on how to do some things, Mac Williams, Jay Branch. I'm learning from all these guys, man. I've been in the game a long time, but I'm still learning. You know what I mean?
You'll always learn, no matter how long you're in the game. You know what I mean? There's just
no doubt
much to learn. I mean, conditioning the pigeons, what to feed them and what to see. It's just a lot, I mean, but it's all part of the game, trying to
Yeah.
master it.
Well, it's we want something perfect out of something that's imperfect.
Yeah.
These pigeons are just imperfect. They're not perfect. I mean, some days you get out there and you in your backyard like, damn, I wish it was a competition today. And the next day you go out there, that same kid ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to get them dialed in for that one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one day, and what I try to get these guys to understand, and they don't have to. I mean, they can do whatever they want to do. But for me, I look at it as a 1 day event, and 2 days. That's if you qualify.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you got to get through the 1 day.
Yeah.
And being up here where I am in Region C, Mike Walden has been flying some of the best birds for years.
Yeah.
And you know that he's been flying some of the best birds for years. Since Donald Lett and Ramsey's got out of the birds, it's been Mike Walden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm looking at Buzz. Buzz is sneaky, man, but he's sneaking up, man. He's sneaky. he don't say nothing, but he's sneaky, But he's flying good birds. You know what I mean? I'm looking at Nick Ritchie. He just started about 4 years ago. He's starting to come along. You got Jimmy Williams that finally found him a place where he can fly birds. So it's all about location.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about TBR. I mean, I think I went to his place. He had just moved there. So he was still putting things together when I went there. But he had already in his mind, man, I'm gonna have 10 kids.
yeah.
You know what I mean, Jerry? 10 kid boxes, Jerry. Holy smoke!
16 kits of birds, man.
Yeah,
16 kits.
That's a lot of time spending in your loft,
Man,
man.
You gotta respect that, man. You gotta respect that, man. That's a lot of work and a lot of time being in that backyard, man, flying the pigeons, man.
And he's flying. He's not playing around.
Look, when I go up to TBR's house, I don't have to go anywhere else. It's birds all day long, man.
Yeah.
All day long. You know what I mean? And he's flying awesome pigeons. He's got all these different families. He got the Spark Axles. He got the HR. He got the Irish. He's got, wait, I can see some of everything sitting right there. You know what I mean? So, it's incredible to watch, man, when you go to these guys' houses. You know what I mean? So that's the experience that I love about these birds, is going to these different guys' homes, seeing they setups, getting ideas that I'm like, hey, man, that's pretty smart right there. You know what I mean? And that's what it's always been about to me, man. I don't feel like if I can't help these fellas in the hobby in a positive manner, then I'm not going to be part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm always back in the backyard listening to my old school R&B, flying pigeons, man. That's what I do. You know what I mean? It mellows me out. It's the music I grew up on. It's still relevant today. So why should I change that, man? You know what I mean?
So Ronnie, are you close? Do you live close to JJ?
JJ is 2 exits away from me, man.
Okay.
And he's getting hammered.
Is he?
He's getting hammered. He was here yesterday and he was like, man, he got 2 kits of birds he can't even get out. Larry Cooper just had some misfortune. He lost like 70 birds to the heat.
Wow.
I think they ran out of water and he lost like all his kit birds and things like that. So, things happen in this hobby, and you're willing to help these guys get back started, man. If they, hey, if you need something, man, let me help you out. And I want to say this too, man. Roosevelt Stafford, he's an AARC member, and he's struggling with his health right now. And I just wanted you guys to understand that, and keep your prayers up for that brother. And life is short, man. I keep telling people all the time, man, it's a short thing. enjoy it. If you can't be positive with these guys, man, stay away from me. You cannot know he's battling. Stay away from me. I mean, it's just like Ray. I know that you've been through some family hardships too. You know what I mean? And my prayers always go up to you behind that, man. It's a struggle. You know what I mean?
Life is short, man. So
so you got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy your birds. You got to get out and help people when you can. And everybody be like, well, Ron, man, you sell pigeons. Look, bro, let's get this out there. If you don't put value on what you have, nobody else will.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? George Mason, I talked to him when he was out here, and we was discussing this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And he is a cool, mellow fellow.
Yeah.
George is a cool guy, dude, and he's real personable. And with all of the accomplishments he done had in the sport, he's still down to earth, man. He's not a asshole or arrogant about what he does. You know what I mean? And this is what you got to do. All of these guys, these master flyers, these champions, you got to understand, people in this hobby look up to you. They want to learn from you, and you got to be able to be personable with these people. I mean, they don't have to come up to you. You go up to them. Hey, man, I'm such and such and such. You know what I mean? Dude, what I've learned about pigeon people, they love to talk about pigeons. They love to talk about their birds, man. You know what I mean? And that's what you doing with that hat on your head, man?
Yeah, man. Johnny gave me that, man.
And that's what it is, man. What Chacon is doing now with the podcast and how he's traveling and he's having these interviews with everybody, man. It is an incredible thing, brother. You're doing some awesome stuff out there on this internet, man. I watch what Keith London is doing. He's doing great things out here. You know what I mean? These people are trying to get the information out to people, and that's important to do. Other than that, man, we're going to lose people. Yeah. And the last thing we need to do is lose the people that we need in this hobby.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of guys don't realize how much work Jerry put into it, how much work you put into the AARC, but you also enjoyed it.
Man, look here, bro. Like Ron said, you got guys like George Mason that, they're on a higher level than most anybody in this hobby, but yet I'm in his living room having a good meal. Him opening his doors to me like nothing, I didn't even know the guy, and that's the best feeling right there, That's the best thing, and I like to share that.
And it's just like, dude, I've been watching some of the podcasts that you're doing with all, I've seen Doc Smiley. Doc Smiley is funny as hell, man. He, I met him, at one of the conventions. He's funny, Rick Shaney, I met him out there and we chopped it up for a while. Kevin Monroe, all these guys, man, that you meet that you would never meet if it wasn't through these pigeons, man. And it's all walks of life, man. And it's all, cultures and backgrounds and dude, but when it comes to these pigeons, it's out the window.
Yeah.
It's out the window when you go talk to these guys about their birds, man. They want to show you their birds, man. They want you to see what they're doing.
Well, and it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work, and you're, for most of the time, you're in your backyard by yourself. And when somebody comes over, it's like, man, I'm gonna show
man. Exactly. And that's what I think. Why I do what I do for the AARC as long as I have been doing it is because I have that pigeon family that I can go and see birds and we can chop it up all the time. A lot of people don't have that. You know what I mean? A lot of people will stand to themselves And, they critical about, well, hey, Ronnie, man, your birds ain't as fast. And, man, I don't give a shit. I'm not losing no sleep over that. You know what I mean? That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I'm cool with that. That it's not going to make me go out and get a new family because you don't like what I'm flying. You know what I mean? That's it for me, man. And once you start getting yourself into that mode to where you're flying the birds for yourself, because I tell everybody the best kit of birds you're going to put up is probably for your friends.
Yeah.
Because they see your birds more than anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. My hat's off to Brian McCormick. My hat's off to HR. My hat's off to rest in peace Charlie Stack, who won the national championship, and things like that. My hat's off to the guys who done accomplished the goal that we're reaching for. But at the end of the day, you got to understand they are pigeons. You think I want to be known for pigeons when God forbid something happened to me and I leave here? Man, look, I'm a good husband to my wife. I'm a good father to my kids, my grandkids, and hopefully I'm a good friend to you guys. That's what matters to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I keep it as basic and possible as I can. I can't have negativity in my life, man. I just don't want no part of it. You know what I mean? I see it all the time and I don't engage in it. People are looking to bring somebody. If Ray wins the national competition, Ray, if you win it, trust me, somebody's going to say something.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All the time.
It's going to be somebody who's going, man, what you mean he scored 1,700 points?
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's always going to be somebody saying something. You know what I mean? But my thing is if you win it, I don't care if you win it with 10 points. You put the time and the work in, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what I respect about the hobby.
Let's get into the family of birds that you're flying, and what traits that are you looking at and cultivating, and what do you like about that, and how is that affecting your program now as far as you're cultivating and flying pigeons?
Well, the families that I have right now is multiple families of pigeons. And right now, being in the location that I'm in, I'm finally able to start seeing the fruits of my labor to where I can see what I'm looking for out of certain families. My thing is, I don't mind test mating birds. I might test mate, a jackanet pigeon on a harder bird or whatever it is. But I don't like crossing a lot of pigeons. I like to see the birds, the family of birds that I fly by themselves. So I know what they're doing and what I can add to them. Because each family of birds, a lot of times you fly them, you can put the frequency in the birds because every now and then a bird will throw frequency, and you need to bring that bird back into your birds and back into the family in order to increase that frequency into the family. You know what I mean? If a bird got speed, then that you keep the speed into the family. You know what I mean? That's what you do when you're cultivating a family of pigeons. You look and see what the family is producing. The family will tell you what you need to bring back to them. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you don't need to add anything to a family. You know what I mean? But what happens is a lot of times you might have a frequent bird up there, but he might not be as fast as the speed that you like. But he's part of the family. But you will get rid of this bird because he's not as fast. But you need his frequency. Mm-hmm. Instead of going out getting a pigeon to add to this family of pigeons when you already got the bird there. That's what cultivation is. Cultivation ain't constantly going out adding to the family. It's looking at that family of pigeons and letting it talk to you. Yeah. That's what I see in the family of pigeons. You know what I mean? I just started with some Mason birds and Callahan birds that I recently acquired about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And it took that long for me to see what they are. Mm-hmm. And now I can see what I want to do with them. The speed is there. I see they need a little bit more frequency. The depth is there. So what I'm looking for in that family now is the birds that they produce this frequent, I'll bring back into the family. You know what I mean? And I'll add that frequency without going and getting a harder bird to add to them. Because then it's no longer the Callahan family. It's a sub-family of the O'Callahans. They're not the same birds anymore. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when that happens, which direction are you going to go in with the cross? Yeah. You know, so I read the family as what it tells me it needs. You know, if it needs depth, if I get a bird coming deep out of the family, then I'll bring that bird back into the family. Mm-hmm. But what I really look for is a correct rolling pigeon. I don't want it wing changing. I don't want it, tearing out of the roll and going in the other direction. You know what I mean? I'm looking for a clean, straight, fast pigeon that can head back to that team that it needs to go to. As you looking for, I'm looking for birds that's in the break. Birds that break when the rest of the birds break. I'm looking for birds that like to roll. I don't need to do a lot to make this bird perform. He likes to perform. Mm-hmm. And that's what I add back to my birds now, since I'm in a location where I can kind of evaluate what I have. Mm-hmm. And most people are not in them locations. So they go out and they get something to try to add this or add that or do this or do that. It takes a while to really look at a family of pigeons and let the birds talk to you. That's what I look for in my pigeons. It's just like, the Jack and that family pigeon. Well, Richard did the work. What do I need to add to it? Mm-hmm. If a bird is too frequent, you call it. If a bird is reckless, you call it. These are the things that you don't want in your family. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If a bird is flying out of the kit, don't bring it back. He's going to breed more birds like him. Yeah, no doubt about that. So these are the things that I look for when I'm breeding my pigeons, man. Each family is different. Each family eat different. My harder birds eat different from the jack-and-net pigeons. The English birds eat different from all these birds. The Irish birds eat different.
When you say eat different, what do you mean by that?
What I mean is the Irish birds and I don't have them, but what I've heard is you can feed them birds all they want. All they want. They can leave feed on the tray. The next day you can fly them birds and they will come in and still gorge for food. I can't do that with the jack-and-net family. I can't do that with my harder birds. I can't do it with the Masons or the Callahan birds. If I feed them birds too much, they'll sit on the roof and don't want to come in. So that's what I mean about feeding these birds. Each family eats different. My Andalusians, you got to feed them. If you expect for them to perform, you got to feed them. You can't stress them birds like you stress other families. If you stress them, they're not going to want to fly. You got to make sure that they got enough food and enough nourishment, or they're not going to react properly. So you got to know the family of birds that you're working with.
Now, when you breed these birds and you're weaning them out, now do you have a separate kit box for these birds and these birds, or are you flying them all together? And if so,
absolutely.
The way they feed different, like you said, do they fly different as well? To where if you was to fly them together, it'll be a problem, or if they're the pigeons that have that Birmingham Roller performance, could they work together?
What I've learned with them is they're different, and each family does different things. I've seen some families who who lift in order before they break. They'll fly and they'll lift, and you can tell when they're ready to break. Or I can see some birds that fly and they just drop. You don't know when they're going to break. You know what I mean? So if you flying them kind of birds in the same kit, you got one birds that don't lift, and you got another family that does lift. So now you got a little bit of chaos going on up there in the kit because they don't know when to go with one another. So when I'm training my pigeons as squeakers, when I'm training them, I train them all together because I just want to get them home. Once I get them home and I get them up in the air, I separate them into their own families of pigeons. And I fly them that way. I fly them accordingly. It's like right now, I got, the English birds, they fly by themselves. There's nothing else in there but them. My family of birds, there's nothing else in there but them. You know what I mean? And they perform better that way because they're more alike.
Now, right now that, like you said earlier, that you did good yesterday or whenever it was that you flew. I'm pretty sure now you got teams of birds that are this family, your family, the Mason family. What do you have preferences on a certain family to where you see them a little better that's gonna guide you more into making your mind with that family, or they're like compatible to where they could be competitive in a competition like you just had? I mean, are you gonna compete? You're competing, and so you're definitely gonna compete with this one right here. What do you see? I mean, do you see yourself narrowing down to certain
Well,
families?
nah, I don't see myself narrowing down. What it is with me is this. It's just like yesterday, I flew my family of pigeons because I know that they were the working family of pigeons. Okay. And this is why I have these certain kit boxes and I fly so many kits of birds. Because you can have a kit of birds that's performing and 3 kits that's not doing anything. So I go with what's performing. If it's the English birds that's performing, that's what I compete with. If it's my family of birds, that's what I compete with. If it's a Truesdale family bird, that's what I compete with. You know what I mean? That's why I have these different birds. And another thing, they have different traits and different colors. I like birds. I like beautiful pigeons. You know, if you look at Mason don't have yellows in his family. You know what I mean? I like yellows. The Jackanets don't have Andalusians. I like Andalusians. You know what I mean? So each family carries something different that I like. And once again, I always have the birds for me personally. You know what I mean? So, and that's why I fly these birds the way that I do. That's why I want 6 kids. This is, look, and I know, Mike Walden, and I'm just going to throw it out there. He have multiple kits of spinners. And if you don't have kits of spinners, you got 5 kits and only 3 of them is spinning, and you got this one kit to rely on, you're going to be in trouble, man. You're going to be in trouble. You got to have the numbers up, and you got to have, if you look at Mike right now, he's working with a new family of pigeons. You know what I mean? He done had the Danny Horner birds for over 30 years. Ray knows it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't have the Olette birds, he didn't have the Ramsey birds, the Kevin Moore. Everybody tries something because they're trying to reach a certain goal. Everybody wants to win. Look at you, Richard. You trying something new. We all do because we just want to. It's not that my family of birds is less than the English birds. I don't see my birds perform just as good as them.
Yeah.
Because you got to understand, we've been in this game a long time. I've seen a lot of different families win championships, and it ain't always been them.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to look at it at what it is, because at the end of the day, if it's your day and it's your year, nothing is going to change that, bro.
Well,
Nothing.
there's something to be said about going out and seeing other birds, because I mean, if you go out and you travel and you see other birds, you're going to see good birds just about everywhere you go.
Everywhere. Exactly.
Not that you're going to walk away saying,
I want them
I
birds.
want those.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's not for me. That doesn't happen often.
Right.
You know, but every once in a while you come across something and you say, you know what? That's what I need. This is what I think I need.
Exactly.
But if you've been around long enough, you know, you don't just walk into the door and everything works out the way you want it to.
Absolutely. And that's right? That's what I was trying to say earlier in the conversation.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter what family of birds you get. You got to put the work in.
You got to put the work in. That's right.
It doesn't matter. You can go get the top family who won this year, but you still got to breed, select, and fly them pigeons to get the best out of them. It's not. It's all about what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody, well, I got this, I got that, and they think overnight that they're gonna become champions because they got these birds. That's not the way these birds work, man.
Yeah.
Nope.
You know, that is not the way these birds work. So I've been having my family for years. And the reason I never got rid of them, because they were a performance family of pigeons when I got them. Mm-hmm. But the problem was I was in a location where I couldn't showcase them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what happens with a lot of us who fly pigeons. You're in a bad location.
Yeah, you know, we have congrats and applause to Hannes Russell for winning the World Cup, and he did an outstanding job. But you know, we had Brian McCormick all the way to the end. You know, leading the
all the way to the end. Yeah, I mean, you know, the U.S. represented the World Cup well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and to see these guys out here who's putting that work in, man, who want to win, is awesome to do. You know, I mean, I know Ray flying good birds. He want to win. He's not out there trying to lose anything. He want to win.
But you know, in the same time, you know, we gotta, you know, give props to those out there that, you know, they're entering and having these. You have Sam Milan in Australia. He only had one break because of, you could hear when they were interviewing him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, that was their luck of the draw right there. You know what I mean? They didn't have the weather, and look at what happened. You know, but there's a lot of kids out there that had weather problems this year. You know, and we can take nothing away from them. You know what I mean? They still got some awesome pigeons. You know.
I'm not taking nothing away from anybody who's in this hobby, because I know how this hobby works. You know, I know how it works. I'm pretty sure Ray and yourself know how this hobby works. It's all about the odds. And the odds in winning a major competition is damn near like hitting the lottery, because of who we're flying against. You know what I mean? If you're flying in your region and you're flying against 30 kits of birds, your odds is 29-1 that you're going to win it.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? That's the odds.
Yeah.
So as we get,
not only that too, but you got to recognize this too. We have the most flyers in the world out here. So it took us a few weeks to fly the United States compared to, and look at in the top 10, we got like 2 South African guys, we got like 3 English guys. It was different. Yeah, you know.
The balance is different.
Yeah.
It's a different balance, man. So if you're looking at what we have to compete with in order to just get a shot at the title, It's difficult, man.
Yeah.
It's really difficult because I'm flying against, 30 kits of pigeons. Like I say, once again, the odds are 29-1 that I may get a shot at the title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then if I get a shot at the title, then the odds decrease, but you're still flying against 50, 60 other kits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So look, have fun with it, man. The best kit of birds I'm gonna tell you you're gonna put up is you having fun, that you're enjoying it. You know what I mean? Because if you make it work, who wants to go to fucking work? Yeah. I don't. You know, you have to go to work every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't. I'm just keeping it real, bro. You know what I mean? It's fun. I get up every morning because this is what I enjoy doing, and I've been blessed to be able to work from home, to where I don't have to deal with traffic anymore. I can get up and go fly my birds all day, every day. You know what I mean? So, but when I was flying birds, when I met Ray, I'm working 16-hour days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't as easy to fly birds when you're working 16-hour days. You know, at one point I was working 20-hour days.
Right.
You know, so you get to that, you can't fly no pigeons under them kind of conditions. But when the region needed me to fly, I kicked birds out.
Mm-hmm.
Because the region called on me. They needed me to fly in order to get this qualifier or what it may be. And that's what the hobby is, man. We all in this together. And we can't do it by.
You literally gotta love this hobby. I mean, like me, like today I was tired. I woke up at 4 a.m. and I was like, man, I'm gonna sleep in today. I closed my eyes and said, nah, I'm gonna go fly pigeons. At 5:30 in the morning, right. I'm opening up a kit box, and it's super hot and muggy out there,
That's what it is, I mean, pigeons has always been a sanctuary for me. It's always been a place of peace for me. And I don't let anybody mess with that. You know what I mean? And that's what the birds have always been for me. It's just like, a corporate guy coming home and he's taking a sip of 100-year-old scotch. You know what I mean? That's what he does to relax.
Yeah.
And that's what the pigeons do for me.
When it comes to breeding your birds, do you have like just individual breeding, or do you have open loft breeding? What works for you?
Everything is individual. All of my boxes are individual, and it happened with when Leonard Teixeira, God rest his soul, when Leonard Teixeira passed away, I inherited a bunch of his lofts, and that helped me a lot with my health. When you got an open loft, you got to be very careful with going in the loft and the birds throwing that pigeon dandruff around, and it's unhealthy if you don't have it right. You know what I mean? So this has been a lot easier for me to maintain. Plus, when I'm out of town or like at a convention, my wife maintains it much easier than going into an open loft. And she already has, some compromising health issues, and she don't need to be in an open loft. So for me, it's been a lot easier for me to breed individually.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I'm not knocking the open loft, because a lot of people breed open loft and that's what they like. Hey, knock yourself out. But it's just been a lot easier for me.
Now, what's your process as far as you got your pairs that you breeding off of, and do you look for click pairs to always keep, and how do you substitute a bird for another bird coming in and out of the breeding program? I mean, is it something that you look for as far as a trait, like early development, or what would replace a breeder, and how soon would you replace it, and or how long would you keep a breeder?
Well, to answer your first question, a click pair is a click pair. I wouldn't break it up. To me, they made it for life. I'm not breaking up a click pair of pigeons. If they're throwing good birds, they're throwing good birds. To me, breaking up a click pair and trying it on something else is not. They're not the same birds. They don't click with everything. You know what I mean? They're not throwing the same things. If I got a pair of birds that's throwing me great performance, then I'm gonna keep that pair together. Just like right now, I got about 3 or 4 pairs that's throwing me excellent pigeons. They're gonna stay that way. Mm-hmm. Now, if they're babies, I may go back and forth with the, half brothers or cousins or whatever it might be. But the mother and father will remain where they are. There's no need of breaking them up if they're producing what you like. I don't see the point.
You never practice like father and daughter or grandson.
I have done that, and the only reason I'll do that is that if they're getting a little older. If they start getting older, I would try to lock them genes up. But if they're young birds, it ain't necessary to do that. I mean, I done seen people I done done it. I done had father. I done put brother and sister together. I done put mother on son. I done done it all. I done made it every which way that's possible to make. But a lot of times, the first mating that usually produce the best birds. You know what I mean? Even though you try, just say, like your bullcock, for example. Okay, you're doing the bull process, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, now you got him on how many different hens?
I put him on a total of 6 hens.
Okay, you put him on a total of 6 hens. Okay, you breeding all them babies out. Which one of them darters you going to take back to him?
I'm looking for the best quality and early development. The majority of those birds that I breed out that have the depth that I want, so I want them anywhere about 20 to 30 feet. But the mainly quality and early development is what I like to put back. Either I'll go with half brother, half sister first, and then their offsprings back to the bullcock. That's what I probably do.
And see, and that's a process. So that may take a few years to get to that point.
Correct.
To take his granddaughter back to him. Mm-hmm. That's going to take a few years to get to that point. And that don't necessarily mean that his granddaughter is going to produce like his son and daughter did.
Yeah.
Or like he did on the hens. You understand what I mean? That don't necessarily mean that's going to happen. Because you can go through all that process and they don't throw what you want. They don't throw what you want. I'm a kind of guy that's like this. I watch a lot of sports. I love football. Football is my thing. I love football. And I watch championship teams and how they are built. And they're built by good players, selecting good players. And most of the birds that we fly, I don't care who they are. Most of the birds that we fly, 98% of them pigeons are lifetime flyers. They're not going to hit the breeder pen.
Yeah.
It's just not going to hit the breeder pen. So me keeping birds together that's producing me good pigeons is what it's about to me. And in order for me to change that means that bird is getting too old and he's starting to, maybe miss, or the hen ain't laying no more, or whatever it is. Then I got to take that process. Then I got to make that move. You know what I mean? But until then, it's not necessary to make the move.
Yeah. No, and first of all, it's like right off the bat, birds got to be working together before anything, kitten well.
That's it.
You got to see that from the beginning when they first start the breaks with the flutter. You want to see them all doing it. I mean, to the point where they master it, and then I'll pick off after that, But I want to see from the beginning. I want to see that they got it in them together.
Well, that's what it is, man. A team starts with kidding.
Yeah.
The team starts with kidding. Mm-hmm. They don't even have to be rolling, and if they're kidding, they're a team.
Yeah.
The rest of it comes as they start developing the role. You know what I mean? So that's what I look for when I look at my birds. I look for them to kit. I look for them to come down together. I don't want birds that's still flying and the kit, you know, I want them all coming down together and going in together.
Yeah.
That's one of my pet peeves. I don't like birds that's hot coming out of the box. You know, as soon as they get out the box, they rolling and bumping on all this kind of nonsense. I don't like that stuff. I don't like birds that when they're coming down to land that they can't control themselves. You know what I mean? I feel like if a bird is up performing, he should be done expended all that energy and be able to come down and land without ready to roll anymore.
Yeah,
That's what I look for in my opinion.
like me, I started to see a lot of different things too. Like before, I used to whistle and rattle the can, and now I expect them to do what they need to do. Like when they land, I want them to land and just hover above the loft and land, and they're gonna stay out there till I want them to stay out there. As soon as I open that entry, they're gonna go in. They're not gonna hang outside. They're gonna go in. And the same thing when I open that kit box. I used to be like that, making all kinds of noise. And now,
Right.
I open that kit box and they come out on their own. I don't flag
And
them, nothing. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for smart pigeons too. It's like right now I got a kit out of my first team from this year, and they all work together. They all come out except one pigeon. He refuses to go out. You know what I mean? And stuff like that is what I starting to notice, and I'm trying to keep to where they all know each other, the chemistry there. So that's what very important.
well, and that's what I was saying about how we done evolved these pigeons into a team of pigeons, until a working bird, until what we want it to be. You know what I mean? We used to let birds sit out on the roof and all this kind of stuff. Oh, that's my best bird, man. Let him, But now we don't do that. I mean, we got things to do. Life is moving a lot faster. When the birds come down, we want them in because we got another kit of birds that we got to push out. You know what I mean? So all of that comes into play when you're breeding and flying these pigeons. I'm not knocking anybody and how they breed birds, because it's like Burger King. You have it your way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can do however you want to breed these pigeons. It doesn't matter to me. But for me personally, I like to breed my birds, and I want the activity and the quality, and I want the teamwork. With these birds, and more than anything, I want the depth. I want people to see that the birds are rolling with quality and
Yeah,
depth.
that's very important to me. Yeah.
That you know what I mean. That's what I want, man. If they're not rolling, um, and I can't enjoy them, I don't see the point of having them. You know what I mean? They gotta roll. That's what they
Yeah.
bred to do.
A lot of guys
You
starting to
know.
like the movement, the big breaks. But you know what, man?
Yeah.
If we're getting
Why you
close,
shaking your
we're
head, Ray?
getting
Why you shaking
closer.
your head, man?
We're getting closer and closer to getting into a tumbling event. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Absolutely,
they feel
absolutely,
the bigger
man.
the break, the better the addition to the score. You know what I mean? But in reality, it's like we're cheating the Birmingham Roller when you ain't got that nice
Right.
separation. You know what I mean?
Right.
I
Absolutely.
rather get a nine bird break than a 12 and they're barely making 10 feet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, you get, and just like Ray said before, I love getting out and traveling and seeing different kits of birds,
Hmm.
because it's hard if you got blinders on and you're just in your backyard watching your birds.
Yeah.
You need to go out and see what other people is flying.
The loft,
You
loft
know what I mean?
blindness, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you got to get them blinders off, man. You got to get them blinders.
Yeah.
And I'm like you. I don't want my birds to just be just activity. I don't want that activity, just to be, they just,
Yeah.
popcorning all over the place, man. That ain't.
Something you might see in young birds as they start to come
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
But
Well,
but that's got to end at some point, right?
yeah, yeah,
Let me say this: movement without depth and quality is not worth shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But not only that, but
now you done said something. That's what I'm talking about.
But not only that, but it's hard to see the quality when you ain't got the depth. You know, it's just like you said earlier, a blink of an eye.
Right.
Exactly. I see a lot of these guys. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm not gonna lie to myself, and people go, "Oh man, that was a break." Man, the birds ain't doing shit up there.
But not only that, Ronnie and Jerry, I don't want a judge to come and tell me that was a good kid, when in my mind I know that wasn't good.
It wasn't. Exactly.
I mean, like you said, you don't want to lie to yourself, and basically that's what you're doing, right?
Exactly. Because everybody wants to sit up and everybody wants to score.
Yeah.
But at the same time is you got to make sure you're putting the right players on the field to do so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, if I can't see these birds cinching up, balled up, coming out that kid, I'm going back to Chacon's kid. He put that kid up, man, and you could see the separation. Mm-hmm. You can see the birds going back.
Yeah.
That's what that's what a judge should be counting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The John Wallace a reel that I put. Did you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how deep you feel those birds were? You think those birds were?
Man, some of them birds went 30 feet. Some of them was 15 feet. It was a range between the birds.
Yeah. Exactly. I had a club member tell me that they're 60 feet. I said, no way. 60 feet from where? No way. And I messaged John Wallace. I said, hey, what on the video, I tagged him. How deep you think those birds were? He said 30 feet. If they made it 30 feet because it was windy. I said, exactly. Just a lot of people see, like I said earlier, they'll see 10 feet different than what you see,
Exactly, man. And me, when I'm watching my kid, a lot of times I'm watching the birds that's going back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I know that they rolled out of the kit. I'm watching the birds going back.
The separation right there.
The birds are breaking a cluster, and then you see the birds that's heading back. The birds is already there. They didn't cut it off, or they really didn't do anything. You got to count these birds that's going back, man.
Yeah, that's how you count a kid of birds that break.
That's how you count a kid of birds. That's why a lot of these guys is a break inside of a break, and this, that, and the other. That's what you believe. I was raised different. When I see a kid of birds and I see them go and I see them birds drop out of that kid and I still see that mass up there, I'm looking for them birds because them the birds that's easy to count.
Yeah.
Going back is the ones that's easy to count. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly. It says it right there.
Yeah. That's just But now you want to break. Oh, he did 5. He did 5 more. And he did 5 more. You didn't even see the first 5 finish. So how you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So now
I think the English rules, they don't do that, do they?
Yeah, they don't. And to them, if they can't, if these birds break, they count those birds. They're going back, but these birds, if they're gonna count these, then these gotta finish correctly.
Exactly. You got to see the birds finish.
It can't be like
you can count something else.
Yeah, it can't be like It's got to be stop. They'll stop, go back, and then if these go, they go. These are trailing back to the kid. They're not out birds, but they stop.
And that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
The birds is going back is not considered out birds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Birds that got evaluated as a break.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
But this constant popcorning and man, I'm cool. Yeah. I'm cool. Like I said, I'll probably never win a competition because I can't stand that shit, man.
Yeah. Now let's go into manipulating the birds, man. And you know, not necessarily going into a competition, but for you too. I mean, we all try to practice to where we get the most performance in our birds. Um, is there a way that you could do that by manipulating your birds as far as with the feed, rest? I mean, is there a certain program that you already got set that you know that in this day, these days, from the day you're gonna fly them and you say they're gonna perform, is there something that you feel that you could manipulate the birds?
You know, Richard, me, I'm still figuring that one out. To be honest with you, I'm still figuring that one out. Like I say, moving here has gave me the opportunity to fly and learn my birds a little bit more than I have years prior. What I've been noticing about my birds and how I've been preparing them is I will watch them and I will see, okay, I might fly these birds 3 days in a row and they peak at that third day. And then I'll rest them for 2 days. And then I'll try that again. And if they do the same thing in the 3 days, then I know, okay, this is the feed that I'm going to give them. They need these 2 days rest. And I need 3 days to get these birds to where I want them before I have to rest them again. You know, that's how I do my birds. You know what I mean? With young birds, you don't have to really worry about that because they're just popping off anyway. They're just learning. They're coming into role. With an older group, you really got to kind of figure out how to get that feed balance on them because they're a little bit more finicky and they're a lot more stronger, and they can resist the roll a little bit more than a younger bird can. You know what I mean? So that's my philosophy of it.
How many?
Go ahead.
Okay, so your daily routine. How many kits do you fly a day?
My daily routine, I fly 4 kits a day. I'm working on my 5th kit now. They just now taking up and starting the kit. And I got a 6th kit on deck.
Now.
So my goal.
Okay, sorry. I'll let you say it, but on those kits, where do you have them as far as time wise on flying? I mean, do you control their time that they fly?
Well, my younger birds are giving me 45 to an hour.
Nice.
My younger birds are giving me 45 to an hour in flight. My older birds are doing the same, 45 to an hour. My one kid, about 34, giving me like 45 to an hour. But my older kid, I don't fly till last. I got to be real careful with them because sometimes they'll just fly too long. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what I do to them. They want to fly. You know what I mean? And if I break them down too much, they don't give me what I'm looking for. See, my whole thing in flying pigeons is the initial 20 minutes.
Right.
Them working within that initial 20 minutes. After that, it doesn't matter in competition. You're not judging anything after that. So if I can get them working within that 20 minutes, I don't care if they fly 2 hours. It doesn't bother me because the other couple of hours doesn't even matter. It's the initial 20 to 15 to 20 minutes that you're trying to score in competition with. So if you can get your birds working within that first 20 minutes, then you done your job. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how long the birds fly. You know, it's if they're flying and they ain't doing anything. If they're up there for, 2 hours and they ain't rolling, then you got to learn, hey, man, I need to cut these birds back. I need to figure out why they're flying so long or whatever it is. Just like I do with these old birds. Sometimes they don't eat a day in order for me to control them. If I feed them one day, like I fed my older kid yesterday morning, I don't fly them until tomorrow morning because I know how strong they are. If I flew them today, they'll be up there forever. So I got to make sure that they're completely empty in order to get that hour to 45 minutes out of them. With the young birds, I can, feed them their regular rations every day and they still give me an hour to 45 minutes. So they're dialed in and what I want, and the performance is there on them. They're always working. I'm always seeing birds coming in the roll. I'm always seeing, what I need to see. So I'm happy about what I'm seeing with my young birds right now. And that's my late hatches to my 2024s. These are birds that I bred October, November, December. And then I got some young birds that I bred, from January on. And these are the birds that's starting to develop for me right now.
Nice. So right now, at this time right now, are you able to fly without interruptions right now with the BOP because of the summer, or do they migrate in the summer?
I've been flying, Ray. When was the convention when we went to the convention in LA? I think it was a while. It's been about, I guess, the LA convention we was at. I've been flying birds since then. October I've been flying all through the winter, all through the spring, all through the summer. I haven't really been had an issue. But the reason I think I still have Cooper issues. The Falcon has been, damn near non-existent. And I think the reason for that is I've been able to keep the birds down. I think that's a big issue that we have with these families. These birds lift, and when they get up too high, here she comes, or here he comes, or here come the pair. If you can keep your birds down, and this is just from my experience, since I've been keeping my birds down to like 150 to 200 feet at the most, I haven't been having issues.
And see, that's where I was getting at as far as manipulating, because I'm starting to know that one of the ways to manage from getting hit so much by the bird of prey is how you manipulate your birds and have them what to do. Like right now, I'm trying to get my birds to fly as much as time that I could make them fly, so that when the BOP comes in October, and every year I'm getting hit more and more and more. So if I could get more fly time in one day instead of getting, let's just say 4 or 5 days of 30 minutes, if I could get 2-3 days of an hour and a half to 2 hours, all I gotta risk is 3 days of losing bird versus 5 days. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
So I gotta find a way kind of to beat them. Like you're gonna take less than what you took last year, and I only flew 3 days out of out of the week. So, and like you said, flying them lower too, you're not at the eye of the Falcon. And that's
You're not at the eye.
That's smart right there.
And that's what I've learned. And just like I was telling you guys earlier in the conversation, this is the most kits I've ever flown in over the 40 plus years I've had pigeons. I've never had this many kits of birds to fly. Each kit that I'm flying is over 20 bird kits. I mean, it's 34 in one, it's 27 in one, it's 26, it's 30 in another, it's 35 in another. So, and that's because I think since I've been keeping the birds down, I'm not losing as many.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think, and since last year, and I've been flying through the winter, dude, I haven't been losing birds. So I've lost more birds to the red tail than any other bird of prey. Than any other bird, since to the Cooper.
What does your oldest team consist of, as far as the age?
My oldest team that I'm flying right now is going on 4 years old.
Damn, that's nice. You're doing something good then.
I'm just, what I mean? I got it's a kit of 34 birds in there, and they all 2021s.
Nice. That's nice.
You see what I'm saying? So you get to that point to where you got a mature team of birds that you are able to fly and enjoy, to where before I couldn't get birds that was a year old. I wouldn't fly a year-old kid. Every time I'm flying young birds to try to compete with these guys who got these mature teams of pigeons, man. It's hard to do that and expect to win anything in competition or do well. My whole thing, man, when I'm flying my birds, is to fly a respectable team of pigeons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's it. If you come out or Ray come out and you want to see my birds, that I can put up something that you guys can enjoy watching.
Right.
That'd be my goal, because I like to watch pigeons, and I like to enjoy pigeons. So when my friends come over, I can kick out a kid of birds, or the club members come over, we can kick out and chop it up, and we can enjoy watching some spinners, man. That's what it is, um, and that's what I've been doing for years and years and years, man. It's just hard when I look at these guys online and they struggling, and they want to get out of pigeons, and I get it. I'd have been under the Falcon for a long time before I moved to this location, and I get it. Where I was living, I almost went on was getting ready to start to charge people for Falcon attacks. Man, hey, y'all want to see a Falcon attack? Come on, come on out here. I was about to start a business. That's how
bring your camera and do a selfie.
Yeah, what I mean, you bird watchers want to see an attack. I mean, that's how bad I was getting beat up, bro.
That's cool.
That's how bad I was getting beat up. So when you're looking at somebody who's doing well in pigeons, my hat's off to you, man. My hat's off to you. I'm happy that you're able in the location where you can enjoy this breed of pigeon. You know what I mean? And the guys who out there who doesn't, who can't do it, I get it. I understand. Trust me, you're not by yourself. You know what I mean? There's other guys out there who have them same issues and them same problems. But to them guys who have that issue, breed up more pigeons, man. You just got to breed up. You got to feed the fly, man. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, like I see a lot of guys that complain about the time of year they got to fly for the Nationals or the World Cup, and I'm not gonna fly because I ain't gonna afford to lose my birds. But you're just hurting your region, man, when you think that way. And you know what? Figure a way, man. I mean, this is
Once again,
it's part of the
You're
hobby,
always
man.
going to have.
Yeah, man. I mean, you
Right?
ain't gonna say you're not gonna fly because of this and that. Come on, man. If this dude's flying, man,
Yeah.
you could too. He's in your region. You know what I mean? It's fair
you
play.
know,
It's fair play.
one thing what's been a blessing for the AARC in the region is since we have started promoting our shows, and we've been getting great donations to get us through the year. We get guys to fly who normally wouldn't fly, because we pay for them fly. We pay for them guys to fly. You know what I mean? And to be part of it. It's really hard to tell a guy who's a hardworking guy, to put up $80 when he don't have a chance of winning anything, to fly his birds. It's hard to tell him that, nah, man, I can't afford to do that. You know what I mean? So this is why we have these online auctions. This is why we have these regional situations to where we can give back to the guys to fly their birds, man. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. If we don't do that, you're going to lose flyers. They're not going to spend their money just to put up birds to lose. Now, back in the day, Ray, no, we didn't have this option. We was paying ourselves to fly. We was digging in our pockets, doing it ourselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. So all of this, I like to thank all of you guys, because you, Ray, all of you guys who donate and help us do what we do is what helps keep this region going forward. You know what I mean? What helps this club pay for everything we need to pay for judges to come down, for gas, for feed, for lodging. All of this stuff comes from the help from you guys, man. Yeah. We can't do this by ourselves.
Yeah, and not only that too, man. It's like nowadays, it's like, I know that this hobby it's a sport to a lot of us, and it's very competitive, and a lot of times, you're not gonna say that it wasn't like that back in the days. People being the hush, secretive of what they're doing, but nowadays you got guys like you guys coming online on this podcast, sharing your knowledge, sharing what you're doing, so it ain't no secret. You know what I mean? So you're hearing a guy out that's 2 miles from you doing what he's, man, you got the opportunity to learn what this guy's doing now. You know what I mean? It's there. You know.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, the information is there. If I called Ray and we start chopping it up about birds, I'll learn something from him. You know, if I got birds from Ray, I'm gonna call Ray because hey, Ray, man, such and such ain't. You know, this bird ain't working out. What should I do? You know, it's his family. He know more about them than I do. I'm just getting them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what we have to do is when you're getting birds from people, you need to talk to the person you're getting birds from because you're just now starting to learn this family of pigeons.
Yeah.
So if you get them and you start flying them and they don't work out for you, then next thing you know, I'm getting rid of them or he gave me a bunch of bullshit. That's not necessarily true. If I come to Ray's house and I see his birds ripping, and I'm like, God damn, Ray, what are you doing? How are you getting these birds to do this? Man, can I get your family of pigeons? Then I got to stay in touch with Ray in order to see what Ray sees.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what this is about, man. But what happens is we all get birds from people. And once we get the birds, we're going to do it ourselves.
That happens. That's the most common thing that happens. And I'm going to honestly tell you, I can't even remember how many guys I've given birds to. And I always say to every one of them, just whatever you do, just at least let me know how they're doing. You know?
Absolutely.
How it all turns out, how it all works out. Because it helps me, you know, it helps me too. You know?
Exactly. You know, we pass the birds on to get feedback from the birds. You know what I mean? And how many of them have given you feedback?
And that was my next topic. very
how many of them have returned that call, man? You know,
very few. You know,
there you go. There you go.
Very few. You know, very few even call you and say, "Oh man, they were trash." You know,
exactly.
You know,
exactly. And
you know, I mean, you at least want to know that. You know, where
exactly.
they were good. You know,
did I give him good birds?
Yeah.
You know, should I keep this pair together because they producing these birds or whatever it might be? You know what I mean? But they don't never call you back. You don't never get any feedback on the birds. You know what I mean? So
in the same time too, you know, most of the time you're not gonna get a grade A kit. You know, you're gonna get a couple pairs. You know, you gotta build your way up there, and it's gonna take time. You know, to the point where your percentage of quality birds were from here and now they're climbing, or you're producing better birds.
Exactly.
You're getting more birds. You're weaning out better birds. You know what I'm saying? And to
I like to send guys. I like to send guys young birds. You know, some of the same young birds I'm flying. You know,
right.
And that not only that gives him an opportunity, because I probably bred out of those before. But every once in a while, I put something together, you know, a pair that I've seen in the air. I make them together off of what I've seen. So I don't have any final results from them, but I have youngsters. Plus, I'm sending the guy youngsters. So I'm thinking between the two of us, we should see something. We should know something. You know, either they're good, they came in at 6 months, or they, you know, they're too short, you know, they're really frequent. Man, you don't hear anything.
Well, you know, hey, a lot of the times you go out of your way, you give pigeons, and these guys don't even give them a time, man. Right away, they're getting something else next year, you know. I don't know.
Exactly. When I got the birds, the old Callahan pigeons, I only had 3. I only started with 3. I started with 2 cocks and 1 hen. Yeah, dude, it took me 4 years to get what I have out here because you're breeding birds that you can't afford to fly, that you have to use in the breeding program in order to get your numbers up to see what you have. You know, it's just like what you're doing with the family now, man. You breed I don't care what family it is. You have to breed up enough numbers of them pigeons in order to evaluate that family of pigeons. That's why if I call Ray, I'm not going to ask Ray for one pigeon. Ray, man, I need a pair.
Yeah.
You know, because what I'm going to do with one pigeon? What I'm going to do? Cross it onto something else and try to make it? No, I need the family of pigeons to work with. I can't work with them if I only have one.
Unless he has a trait that you want in your birds, you know.
But that don't mean that trait will pass.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of genetics, man. You gotta try it out and
You know,
experiment.
that don't make I might want the trait, but that don't mean that bird may throw that trait. You know what I mean? So it all comes in the breeder pen. Everything starts in the breeder pen. We can see up there and see some of the best spinners in the world up there rolling their butts off. But can they produce what we see? That's when it starts. It don't start until you put that bird in a breeder pen, until you made it to something to see if it can produce what we're looking at. I done had some great birds spin and put it in the breeder pen and he ain't worth a shit in the breeder pen. He ain't throwing me nothing. Or she ain't throwing me nothing. She's going back in the air. That's why I keep saying some birds are meant to be in the air for life. They're not meant to be bred off of. You know, that's why, you know, you got all these birds coming over. All of these birds are not going to throw you great pigeons. We all breed culls. All of us do.
Yeah.
Anybody tell you they don't breed a cull, run. Run as far as you can, because he's lying his ass off. We all breed some junk.
Well,
that's just the way the bird.
That's the whole thing of, you know, like you said, if you're gonna get a pair, you a bird, you're gonna get a pair. Now you got to see if those two pairs produce good performers. Your next step,
right?
So that's probably a year or two there. Your next step would be seeing if those performers are good producers themselves. So if you're producing offsprings now, they prove to you that they're performers. Now they got to prove to you that they're good producers. And that's you're about 5 years right there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But then I'm able to at least give Ray back the feedback that he's looking for.
Yeah.
But it all takes time.
It takes time, man. It takes time. None of this stuff, excuse me, is overnight. None of it. And that's what people think. They're going to get in this hobby and they're going to breed these pigeons up and they're gonna shock the world with them. And that's not the way it works. It's years and years of selecting. And I go back to Keith. Breed, fly, select. Keith says that all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to, that's the process that it's repetition. We got to do it over and over and over in order to be successful with what we're doing. Yeah. So I've been fortunate over the last, few years to do pretty well. I never thought that I would be in the top 10, in the nation, but it happened.
Yeah.
It happened because I just kept flying pigeons. You know what I mean? And a judge came through and they were on the day that they were on for whatever reason. You know what I mean?
How take us back to how you felt that day, man.
Well, how I felt when I did. Look, I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. When I fly pigeons, I'm never nervous. I'm never nervous when I fly pigeons, because I do it every day. It doesn't bother me. But today, the day that happened, dude, I was like, man, they up there working, and me and Big JJ, we were sitting in the backyard, and I was like, man, I don't know if he's judging them, whatever it is. And when Dwayne came back with the score, he was like, man, you had a lot of birds up there fluttering around, and you know what I mean? But you got a couple of breaks, right? I'm like, okay, well, man, cool. It don't matter. Long, I did all right. I beat, and I say, well, I beat Mike Walden that year. I'm happy, because Mike is the man.
Yeah.
I beat Mike. I scored I was fine. And then he gave me the score. I was like, man, see, you full of shit. I even told Dwayne, I said, man, why you do that, man? And he gave me the score, and I was just kind of shocked that he scored me well. You know what I mean? So it's just like I said, you got to fly the birds. You never know when it's your day. You just got to keep them in the air, man. You just got to keep them in the air. And I was fortunate enough. And dude, and it's still haven't set in. A lot of people say, man, that was a great accomplishment, whatever. Dude, it really haven't set in. I'm just having fun with the birds. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. I'm having fun. Now, when I win it, it might be different.
Did you take
If
your
I
wife
win
to?
one, it might be different. You know.
Did you take your wife for a big steak that day, man?
Well, my wife, you know what? My wife was more freaked out than I was. She was more excited for me than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and yeah, we had a good time, man. That day, it was a good day. I had a good year in 22, and I'm hopefully I can qualify in this fly coming up in September. So, it you know, I got some pretty nice birds out there. I think I got a good shot at it. Don't you know? I don't know where I'm gonna fall in the scheme of things, but I'll just keep them in the air. You know.
Nice. What do they consist of your team that's doing good for you?
Well, my team right now, the team that I won was my old family of birds, which was the old jack-and-net pigeons from JJ and Leonard to Share Blood. That's what got me there, and that's what I'm still working with, the old jack-and-net pigeons.
Are they?
And
do you fly like cocks and hens together, or you separate them?
yeah, I'm flying both. I was flying cocks and hens separate for about 2 or 3 years. And now I got them all together, and they're doing a lot better together. So I'm leaving them the way they are because I got the feed diet in them now. I don't have, you know, no cocky cockbirds strutting around and all that kind of nonsense. So I'm leaving them the way they are. The kits that I'm flying right now, I got a kit of Mason Callahan birds that's been doing very well for me. I still got about another 6 weeks to try to get them prepared and ready for competition. And then I have a kit of my own birds. And, you know, I actually picked up a couple of squeakers a couple of years ago from Sean Norwood. And they're starting to perform very well for me in this group of birds that I'm flying. Nice. So I got a little bit of Norwood. I got a little Norwood birds up there that's flying with my pigeons, and they're doing very well. So I'm happy about that and what I'm seeing out of them. So.
Yeah,
we'll see how
I was able to go and hang out in Bill Callahan's lofts before he passed away, man, and it was pretty cool, man. That guy, man. He was a bird man. He was a roller man for sure, man.
You know, Don had told me he went over there and he judged the World Cup one year, and he had told me that Bill Callahan had some of the fastest pigeons that was over there. Yeah. And I was blessed enough to get a couple of them, and it took me a few years to see what I wanted to see. But Don is not lying, man. These birds can flat out roll. They can get it, man. I really enjoy watching the performance out of these pigeons. And if anybody know anything, everybody know Don O'Netlow's pigeons. You know what I mean? So that was good. That was a good information that I got from Don O'Let. About those Callahan pigeons. And the Mason birds that I got, man, I got some in this kit that's just outstanding. Nice. Outstanding rollers. So, you know,
are those older Masons or the newest ones?
These are the Masons that I've gotten from Lenny Medford. Lenny Medford passed away.
Oh, yeah.
And I received some birds out of his family of pigeons. And then I was fortunate enough that John Sandoval sent me a hen, and Richard Rango gave me a cockbird to add to what I had. And, you know, JJ had a few birds, and he gave me a couple of cockbirds. And right now the family is producing really nice pigeons. So I'm kind of happy with what I'm starting to see out of that family of pigeons.
Yeah, that's the thing about roller guys, man. That's the thing about roller guys. You know, if they know you're serious with something you're working with, and they can help you, they try to, you know.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, you know. And you know, John had knew all the information on the pigeons that I had and stuff like that, and he sent me a beautiful little blue check hen that's been producing me really nice birds. And I went down there to visit him, but he had a doctor's appointment at that time, and I went over to Richard Rangel's house, and Richard gave me a blue bar ball head cock, which happened to turn out to be a full brother to the bird that John Sandoval gave me. So, dude, the birds are just producing me really nice pigeons. I'm happy with what they're producing over here. You know what I mean? Especially, with a new family, and in about 4 years, you're starting to really see some nice results out of them, man. It's pretty awesome to see.
And if you think about it, those birds from Lenny, man, hey, those are good birds, man. Those are the latest birds that George Mason has, and I'm a witness, man. I was underneath those kids, man, and they got depth, and they got that breaking power too, man. And that's years and years of cultivating right there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They got great depth on them, great speed on these damn pigeons, man. They just, I mean, when the kit breaks, man, they just all little bitty knots, man. It's fun to watch, man. It really is. It's fun to watch, man. Uh, and that's why I say, competition. I do well. That's fine, but I'm enjoying them every day. It's not a competition. I'm out kicking them out, listening to me a little Harold Melvin and Blue Notes or something. And,
Yeah.
I'm out there letting the birds dance. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about,
Sky
man.
Dancers right there.
That's what it's about to me, man. Put the birds on the dance floor, man. The sky is the dance floor for me.
I really like your loft name, man. The Sky Dancers Loft, man. That's unique right there, badass, man. Hey, and by the way, I was telling you, and I want to tell the world too. When I was in England, I had a few guys. Hey, man, we follow you. And they say choo choo, and then they're like sky dancers, but it didn't click to me. I said Sky Dancers. It goes, yeah, we follow Sky Dancers, and then one of the guys came out in a minute. I was like, man, that's just. I wish I was able to have my camera at the time and record that. It was just pretty cool, man. I was in England, and they're like, in a minute.
Wow, that's crazy.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, it's a shout out to the guys over across the pond, man. I appreciate them. Watching the little videos that I make and stuff like that, man. It's great to hear good feedback and positive things, man. That I'm doing. I really appreciate that, man.
Keep it up, because the world's watching. You know what I mean? That's very important, because that just keeps everybody else, in the mood and in the urge to fly pigeon, seeing what you're doing out there. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people that think like us.
You can't, you got to keep it real with pigeon guys, man. You can't fake positivity. It is what it is, man. You can't fake that stuff, man.
Harry, I like what you're doing with those birds too, man. Put us some more videos up there so we can see your progress, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. It's been 180. Man, I ain't as young as I used to be, Ray, man. I can't stand out in that heat like that.
Hey, man, I'm trying to make it as fast as possible, in and out. I got my pigeons flying around an hour in this heat, But at the same time, I'm changing the waters, feeding them, sweating my eyes. I'm like, man. The cool weather, man. Oh, I'm gonna film my birds a lot. I'm gonna show the birds
too, man. It's hard to do it in that heat, man. My phone overheats so fast. I want my phone blown up in that.
My phone goes to emergency shut off or something.
Right, exactly.
I got a little refrigerator outside. I put it in the freezer for a minute.
Exactly. But I will definitely start posting more videos soon. Hopefully on these flies, I can start filming some of the flies and stuff like that, since things are starting to cool down just a little bit. But yeah, man, I appreciate all of the positive feedback I'm getting, the love that the guys are giving me about these birds, man, because at the end of the day, man, I love you guys, man. I love you guys, man, and what you do. Every time I see Ray, man, that's like my brother from another. You know what I mean? Every time I see that brother, man, he make me smile, man. Ray is a good guy, man. Really good person, man. You are too, Chateau, man. I ain't saying that you're not, but Ray, man, I've been knowing Ray for such a long time. It's awesome when I see him. and to see that smile and to see that he's doing good, man, it makes me feel good, you know. So, you know, y'all keep doing what you're doing, man. I mean, this podcast is very important for this hobby. I'm honored that you guys asked me to come on, you know, and hang out with you guys for a little while or whatever it might be, you know. Hopefully I help some people, you know, with what I'm doing with my birds out here, man. I just like a bird that loves to roll, that you don't have to really stress out, you don't have to do a lot to. And them is the kind of birds that I look for to breed off of. A bird that likes to roll. You know what I mean? Them are the birds that I look for in my kid. That's always rolling, that's always performing. No matter if the kid is flat, this bird is still performing. That's what I look for when I look for pigeons.
Yeah, I wanna
You
I,
know
I
what I
wanna
mean?
say thank you to all the viewers, to all you that supporting the channel, the Patreon, and those that you watch the England. I hope you guys liked it. I really worked
Oh man,
hard
that
on
was
it,
cool.
and
That was cool.
I did it. Listen, man, I wanted to do it because, like you said earlier, not a lot of people could do that and travel and the finances. But you know what, man, I did it and try to put it together as close as possible as the way I saw it. You know what I mean? And I wanted
Right.
the world to be a part of it. You know, because it's very important. It's like I wanted to do it like if we were all hanging out at the backyard watching them birds. You know what I mean? And it's very important for those, you know, we all live separated, you know, and a lot of people are in the roller men are always by themselves for a long time flying pigeons till they get together with their comrades, you know what I'm saying? So if you haven't watched it, check it out. I am gonna start putting clips of it on YouTube, but it's not gonna be the same. And I promise
Right.
the earnings for this, I promise, man, we're gonna do another one just like that. And
Well,
you
man,
know
that you know
it's
what, that was a cool thing, man. It was cool to see the lofts over there,
yeah, yeah,
to see you guys. You know, sometimes the English was a little bit different than ours, but you
yeah,
know, I was able to sift through some of it. You know what I mean, and
yeah,
understand what they were saying. But at the end of the day, man, you guys are doing a spectacular job out there with what you're doing. And we need it, man. We need the information. We need these young guys coming into pigeons to be able to talk to these champions and these master flyers and these guys who've been in the birds for years and years and years, these Hall of Famers, is very, very important, that they give back to the hobby, man. They give that
yeah,
knowledge back to the hobby, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Um, at one point, you know, like you say, everybody was secretive. You know,
yeah.
everybody. Oh, what family you flying, man? They mouth.
And
You
you
know,
still see it, and you still see it. You know what I mean?
you know what I'm saying? They all secretive and stuff, but you know, you have your guys who like what they like. You know, some guys like the old family of pigeons, some guys like the new, and some is in between. You know, they trying to make their own thing happen, and that's a great thing. That's what you know. It's nothing wrong with change, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
nothing wrong with
It's
change.
not.
You know, people. You know, the birds have changed. Like I said, they've evolved over the years. You know, they're not as big as they used to be. I remember when I was little, I couldn't hardly hold a goddamn roller. It was big as a fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they they were huge, man. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You
yeah.
know, we done bred them down. You know, we done got them more compact. We done got them. You know, it is what it is,
Yeah, you
and
know,
that's what.
we're gonna come to an end to this podcast. We're already at the 2 hour mark, but I want to say thank you to
What?
everybody. The yeah, we've been here that long, but congratulations to the World Cup winner Hannes Rosso. Man, you did.
Congratulations, Ronnie.
That was
Congratulations,
killer,
man.
man. Brian McCormick, man. Props to
Bob
you too,
McCormick.
and all everybody, all the top 10 contenders, everybody, man. Congratulations. You know, I want to thank you, Ronnie, and if you could say real quick a few words, man, for everybody out there, man. And give us the in a minute at the end, man. Come on, we can't end this
Well,
podcast
look,
without that, man.
my wife said, man, if y'all ever to make it down here, you know, Ray, and you guys come down here, you guys always got a meal. You're welcome. You know what I mean? But last but not least, man, I'm going to say, in a minute, my brothers. In a minute.
No, 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 no. And then we have I'll see you guys at the convention. Ohio is coming up. And so
Right
That's
on.
right.
you can see you guys over there, and peace out. Blessings to everybody, and to the next one. Next week we're gonna have George Reese from Las Vegas, man. So it'll be
All
a
right,
good one.
man.
All right, thank
Keep
you
on
all.
flying, my brothers.
Right
Keep
on.
All
on
right,
flying.
Ronnie.
Thank you.
Love
All
you,
right.
man.
Love you, bro.